Beyond the pages.
Beyond the pages.
Some paint with colors, others paint with words. But there are very rare few that paint with both color and words. And that's the description of our guest today. He paints with both color and words, thereby turning creative ideas into an amazing milestone. We welcome you to another impactful episode of Beyond the Pages podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Accessible Publishers Limited. I am Uchechukwu Judith Nwafor, and I am very excited to be bringing this podcast, this episode to you today because it's the one for the books. We are going to explore the mind of a creative, I don't know what I'll call it, powerhouse. Yes, a creative powerhouse. Yeah, I'll be talking about a writer, an artist, an educator. So we have a lot for you today. Just follow us and you'll be able to learn a lot. So our guest for today's episode is no other person than Kolade Salami Ajani, popularly known as Oakley. So we welcome you to our today's episode. Welcome to Beyond the Pages podcast.
My pleasure, Uche. Thank you very much for having me on this nice program.
Okay.
It's a real privilege for me to be here. I'm going to have a very good session.
Yeah.
By His grace. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I also want to inform you that he has written a lot of amazing books from Accessible Publishers. We have the Cultural and Creative Arts, and we also have another one that's a collection from folk tales, Tortoise and Friends and Fools, right? Yeah. So thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Yeah, we are glad to have you join us today.
Let me add to that. We still have some that I did with some authors. That is Dye and Bleaching.
Dye and
Bleaching. Also published by this Accessible. And the recent one I published is for both colleges and university.
Okay. That's on cultural and creative art.
Cultural and creative art and applied arts.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that was, the last one I published. And I did that in commemoration of my 60th birthday.
60th birthday. Okay.
And my retirement from active service from Oyo State Civil Service. And that one took place last year, June 6.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. By His grace, by this year, June 6, I'll be 61.
Wow. Congrats, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so thank you so much for honoring our musician. It's a great honor to have you here. So let's go straight to the questions to get to know more and for our listeners to, hear from the horse's mouth. So your journey from Obomosho to becoming a cultural icon is actually quite remarkable. So can you take us through back to where it all started? Like what made you very interested in arts, in education?
Thank you very much. Actually, I had my primary education in the Obomosho between the year of 1970 to 75.
Okay.
Actually, I was born here in Ibadan, but I was taken to Obomosho for my primary education to be living with my grandmother there. So immediately after my primary school, I had to move down to Ibadan, where I had my secondary school education. In one of the best schools here in Nigeria. They call the place Ipemeshinegba Grammar School. But then I was a science student, but the talent was in me. Then I could draw very well. You understand? So some of my friends, they've been there, drawing an assignment to me, drawing diagrams in biology, drawing maps in geography and things like that. And it was then some of the teachers were, noticing the talent in me.
Yeah.
They were telling me, Kolade, you're an artist, but I never knew it could be a very great profession. I always think maybe it was just a passion. Back then, you cannot say that it's a profession. We were always looking at science.
Yeah.
So until I now finished my secondary school, way back in 1982. So, in those days, with our secondary school, you could get jobs with the government. So after doing some lessons and things like that. I was fortunate, to gain an employment with Oyo State Civil Service then as a junior officer.
Okay.
You understand? As a I was employed as a technical assistant as then Minister of Works and Transport. So immediately I was employed. I was now transferred to Ogbomoso by Providence to be working at the Vehicle Inspection Unit. They call them VIO. So I had to go back to my route. So it was then, while I was working, that I now moved. I met some students from Ogbomoso Grammar School. And if I mentioned Ogbomoso Grammar School, Ogbomoso Grammar School is one of the best secondary schools that offer fine arts. Then, and I think still now, if you see a product from Ogbomoso Grammar School that did fine arts, don't forget it. So it was then I now moved with them. So it was then they now took me through the rudiments of arts. I never knew the rudiments. I never knew the principle. I never knew there were principles in fine art. I just thought just draw. So it was then they taught me that of same perspective, proportion, size, all the principles of art. So it was then I started developing my interest in art. So it was I was now advised that you could do your GCE, because I was having science in my research then. You could do your GCE and do art. I said, is it possible? I said, it's possible now. You now taught me the papers, the life drawing paper, still life and things like that. Don't forget that I mentioned that I finished 1982.
Okay.
That in 1982 was science. So this 1984 now, I now did another GC. I now had my good result in fine arts. I was so surprised. You understand? To cut a very long story short, I was working in Ogbomoso. Then later they now transferred me from Ogbomoso to Irua. In the Oyo State was old Oyo State then.
Yeah.
So then I transferred me to Irua. I thought it to be a punishment because Irua was a dry place. No, I know that it was God that was doing it. So immediately I got to Irua from Ogbomoso, working with VIO in Ogbomoso, transferred to Irua to be working with another VIO. I said, what would I be doing here? So it was there and I met another fellow students of Irua Poly. So I'm so fortunate in my life. And Irua Poly under Ibadan Polytechnic then, it is now autonomous. They are on their own now. They are very good school for art. So those students did not taught me this another, more advanced than that of secondary school, than that of GC. So I now saw the way they use colors. Because I had the passion for it, I would go to their houses in the evening, watch the way they do their assignments and things like that. So it was there, and I was now advised that you could even get your form to come to Irua Poly now. There's this mixed interest. I said, if I should get my form to come to Irua Poly, it means I have to jettison my working with Oyo State government. So where would I get the money? There's something to me that God will take care of that. So I had to resign and apply Ibadan Irua Poly under Ibadan Polytechnic then. So it was then I had my OND from 1986 to 1988 and I came out with good grade. To God be the good. So after that, I now came back to Ibadan. Started working with a media house. From then I gathered more experience. It was then I now went back to Yaba College of Technology. I said it initially that I'm so fortunate. Another school that is very, very great in Nigeria. We cannot contest it. Ask anybody. Yaba Tech is great.
With arts.
With arts. Even with other subjects. But we ask anybody. They can tell you Yaba Tech is great. So it was there I now went to sharpen my teeth in the line of painting, drawing and painting, which now made me what I am today. The knowledge I had at the Ibadan Polytechnic Irua campus then, and with one I had at the Polytechnic, at the Yaba Tech, they are the foundation that is now holding me where I am today. So after leaving Yaba Tech, I now came back to Ibadan. What would I be doing? Then I started, teaching creative and cultural arts in private schools. I go to 5 schools in a week. One school a day, another school a day. So it was then I gathered experience in teaching. So it was when I was doing that I now had another opportunity of now coming back to Oyo State Civil Service, on another phase now, as a matured person, I was not employed as a executive creative officer, until I now converted to cultural officer. We now had another foundation in cultural and creative art, and in culture, in tradition and tourism. So after that, I told that I attended Polytechnic. So there was this disparity. I know it's still existing now between HND and degree. So you are taken as HND graduates with level 8, but eventually you are now reverted back to level 7 because you are not, this consider us not being graduates. Those people that attended university, they call them graduates. But with you attended Polytechnic, you are not graduate. So it was saying I now went back to the university. I went back to UI to have my PGD in education. That was in year 2000. Because I gained employment in year 2000. So year 2000, I now went back to University of Ibadan for my PGD in education. Spent another year thinking that with that PGD, I will be equivalent with university graduates. So now that took the results of the Secretariat for Evaluation, I was told that it's only made you a professional teacher. You are not a graduate. You understand? You know, upon it all, the most painful part of it was that all the salary that was accrued to me when I was given level 8 was now reverted back from my salary for almost 8 months. So I was left with nothing. So it was then I said, okay, so is it this graduates of a thing? I must become a graduate now. So I now went back to the university again to go and spend another 4 years. That's the University of Ado-Ekiti. You will not have that in my CV here. So I went back to the University of Ado-Ekiti. And I did my 4 years. They had their campus at Oyo College of Education there. I spent another 4 years and I came out with good grade again. So it was now, converted for me. That made me a bona fide cultural officer. And I had another opportunity of going back to the University of Ibadan to have my MA in Visual Arts at the Institute of African Studies. So all those experiences now gave me the knowledge and the boldness and made me, someone to be reckoned with in the field of art. By His grace, I don't know anything, but I just found myself in all those places, and I was not taking them for granted. I gathered experience at the University of Ibadan from Miami, and the more knowledge I gathered was at the cultural center, where I served for 24 years as a cultural officer. It was then I knew what they call culture, where I knew what they call tourism. You understand? So that is why I am now a bona fide artist, a studio artist, cultural artist, creative artist, historian, and anthropologist.
Oh, that's an amazing educational and career background. Like switching from science to art and achieving this height is a lot. So before I even ask my next question, there's something that you mentioned. You said when you left your work, the initial Oyo State work.
So yes, when I was very young.
And you trusted that God knew.
Yes.
How were you able to cope? You just trusted that God. How were you able to face the school and repay your school fees?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That at times I look at myself, I see myself as a special being. Honestly, I don't know how I went through that. But to God be the glory. Then, I told you that I was posted to another place at a rural working with VIO.
Yeah.
But the guy that I passed with them, very amazing, the VIO them, Mr. Folabi, I've never forgotten. He was one that was encouraging me. The place I was living while working with him, we were living together in a flat. He not even checked me. Said, continue living with me. You understand? I was living with him. He was feeding me. But the school fees, how that happened, I don't know. But I just knew that I was paying my school because I was not living with my parents. I was just living with a brother of mine. So of course, we were just struggling in a room at Obasa Street then, very close to Coca-Cola. So he was struggling, I was also struggling. So how God did it, I don't know, but I knew it was God that did it. He saw me through and I came out with good grade. To God be the glory.
Even my next question, I think you even answered it. Because I wanted to ask, that people see creativity in different ways. So people say that it's learned. Some people say it's something you are born with. I wanted to ask whether your own, do you feel like you learned it or you were born with it? Well,
yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because when we are talking about creativity, thank God, I think I can say a little thing about creativity, even on heart as a whole. I still have some senior colleagues, my lecturers and things like that might not even, say that I know more than them. But with the little knowledge I have over 30 years now, I think I can talk authoritatively without missing words.
Yes.
Unless I don't know what I'm doing. If someone could be at cultural center for 24 years, you should be able to know what you are doing. So we are talking about creativity. You must have, at least no matter how little, you must have it in you. You must be born with it. It is when you are never born with it, you must not create passion for it. You must have a passion for that creativity. It is then you are not going to develop it. If you have creativity, you don't develop it, that creativity might die with you. You understand? I don't want to take us into the Bible. Where the master gave talent to different people. Some went to bury it, some invested it. Many people, they bury their talents. It might not be their fault. It might be because there's no encouragement. But in my own case, when I started, I did not have any encouragement. I just knew it was in me. Then I've just go out. Then we had this old Kingsway here. Just go there. The first place I will go to will be at their art section. You understand that? Their art section. I look at the drawings. I look at the paintings. I look at Bob Marley. Now I had it in my brain. Go home and practice and look at how it is. Then the second day I'll still go. Does it look like what I saw yesterday? So you have, like yourself now, you are born with a talent or many talents. Because if you don't have any talents, you'll not be here. You understand? A lot of people might be outside there that might even be better than you, maybe because you have talent and you are pursuing it. That's why you are here. And the photographer too. It is talent. You could have chosen another thing. You could have been a fashion designer.
Yes.
You understand? So all of us are born with one talent or two. But it's not left for us to develop that talent. If the talent is not well developed, the talent will just rotting in the womb. So you're born with it first, then you develop it.
Okay, thank you so much for the response. So let me go to the next question. Your arts and even your writings, it has touched many lives. They are what people see and they are exposed to, and they are using it. It's of value to them. So at what point did you realize that, yeah, I can do this, and you put out art and people appreciate it, or you write something and people seeing the words in it? At what point did you realize that, yeah, this thing you are doing is actually impacting people's lives?
Well, thank you very much. Excuse me. When we are talking about when the talents exploded,
yes,
it doesn't have to do with age. Okay, you see a lot of younger generation these days. See online, you see Facebook, you see them doing explosive things. You understand? So I can say that I had these two together. But firstly, I had the experience of drawing and painting before I had the experience of writing.
Yeah.
So each time you write, each time you draw, you see people appreciating it. Money might not follow it. I always tell people, money is not everything, especially in art. A lot of people, they always think that at this, artwork, I must sell it for this much, for this. But it's not money that starts. Money comes later after you have made your name. You understand? If you have made your name, and if it's only ordinary paper, just put something there. If you, it is duly signed, your name is there, and I've already known your name. I must buy this for this, belongs to this, it belongs to this. So, as an artist, at the time, that, yes, I can create this, and people will appreciate it. I'm not deviating from your question. I'm coming back, because there is continuity. Yes, this is artwork, this is a product. By the time I'm not producing something, because there's something we call process and products. Understand? It is the process that now leads to product. By the time you are not able to produce something, it is then people now say, okay, so you can do this. Okay, do this for us. I started writing. Courtesy this of fame. Accessible, but then it was last made. You understand? So my work was appreciated by the MD then.
Okay.
And I was going around teaching in schools, as I told you. You know, so that was in 1996, I think. So when I started producing artworks, the guy would see it, and he saw the way I was teaching, and he was now to introduce me. So that, Mr. Kolade, you can even write a book for us. I said, no problem. But because of the knowledge I had in schools, going around, I never went to College of Education or whatever. It's only later I did that. So because of the experience I had in classrooms, so he now gave me the curriculum, and I did it. That was the first edition of our book in 1996, because we started this publishing firm together. I can say it. Yeah, we started it together, and I was the first person to illustrate for this firm.
Wow.
The first illustration was in one of your Yoruba literature book, Uchechukwu, by Bade Judith. I was one that did the cover illustration and the text illustration. You understand? So, you know, I'm not trying to just oppose the two, the drawing and the writing. So it was then when the Oga saw the drawings I did in those books, I said, Mr. Kolade, you can be our illustrator. You understand? So subsequently, I became the illustrator for this fair. I might not be a paid illustrator, but you know, part-time illustrator. I was illustrating for your company for a very long time before the digital drawing that came. So the drawing I was doing as illustrator in illustration, and the writing I was doing as a cultural and creative artist made me to impart life into people. Now some people, you see it, when they hear my name, they say, Kolade Salami, are you the one Kolade Salami? Can I see your book? My books have traveled where I have not touched. You know, let me give an example. Years back at Cultural Center, we always have the youth corpers. So one served with me. So immediately left, he came for his IT. He came from Lautech, because they are doing fine arts and applied arts and fine art and Lautech, so they are very good in that school too. So after completion of his education at Lautech, he was now transferred to one of these eastern states to serve there. So it was then in that school they were using my book. He was not telling the student that school that I know the person that wrote this book, and he was telling, and they were telling that guy is a lie, you cannot know him. That, do you know that he now called me in the class one day, say, Daddy, you are using your book in this school, but this student will not believe that you are to run that I know you very well. I just started laughing. You know, it has been impacting people's lives tremendously, and I thank God for that. It's not by my making. This is the work of God. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful response. Like, you were able to even throw more light than we expected. So when was the cultural and creative arts? You mean it was published first in the 90s? The cultural and creative.
Yes.
So the first published.
Yes, it was 1996. Oh yes.
Okay.
And I've had series of revision. I've reviewed a lot of them. I think I'm having up to like 5th edition now.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, like 5th edition now.
Okay, thank you so much.
And it's one of the best in the country. You know, let me shock you again. Did you know that before we started our publication here in creative cultural and creative arts, we had few then. We had few. And then they did not even call it cultural and creative arts. They call it fine arts. Fine. So it was when Rasmus started cultural and creative arts that you now saw other publishing firms now doing their cultural and creative arts, copying our own. Yes, I can say it every year. I can say it anywhere. We are the first to start cultural and creative arts here in Ibadan. So I don't have any reference. Maybe I took someone's book as my own reference. No, I made my own research and practical experience that I had in classrooms. Because you cannot sit down in the corner of your room and I think that you can start writing books on subjects you don't know. But I had practical experience in classrooms. I did practical artworks with them. So those are the ones I now brought back into the book of cultural and creative arts.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. You know, so people think that creativity is reserved for artists and writers. So what do you think about it? Do you think every one of us, we have that creative spark? Like, how do you think we can tap into it? Even if is it only for writers and authors and artists that creativity is for?
Thank you very much. You know that I think I've mentioned that briefly, not comprehensively, because I'm always conscious of that. When I'm talking about creativity, it's not limited to fine arts, it's not limited to music, it's not limited to writing. You know, it is very, very dynamic. It touches every aspect of life. We are talking about football or footballing. It is creativity, yes. If you are not creative in the way you manipulate on the football pitch, you know, by the time you see some players on the field, you see creativity in them, the movements, the way they pass the ball. I'm not a football fan anyway, but I know that is creativity. In dance, modern dance is part of our work. It's creativity. You see the way some people move their body. You see the way they carry their body. You see the way they carry their legs. It is creativity. You know, just come within themselves. So creativity, you must be able to listen and understand the beat of the drum. If you don't follow the beat of the drum, you will not be creative. So when you are now creative in listening to what the drum is saying or what the beat is saying, it is then you are now able to carry your body creatively. If some people are dancing now, you can see someone that is more creative than the other. And you know, they learn how to dance choreography. You know, they learn it. And someone, a good choreographer, will tell you that you have to be very, very creative in the way you carry your body. You might be thinking that if someone is very fat, he might not be able to carry this, but no, if someone that's very fat is very creative, you can see that fat person can even more be creative in dancing than someone more slimmer. So creativity cuts across even in driving. In driving, creativity is in driving. You see a lot of those good drivers, they maneuver. And some people are not creative. They might be driving for the past 20 years. They still be driving the way they've been driving. They'll be telling you that I've been driving this car for the past 20 years now. They are not being creative. Even in teaching, you see some creative teachers. The way they teach you is going to be different from the way another one will teach you. If someone teaches you something, you understand it better than another person teaching the same subject. So creativity is not static. It cuts across every aspect, or even talking the way you are talking now. Listen to some presenters on radio, you see creativities. You understand? So even the way we dress, you see some people dress creatively. If I just like that, I like the way this man dresses. That's the creativity. In fashion designing, I can go on and on and on. Creativity is with everything and everywhere. Even the way we do eat, you know, there's creativity. Some people eat. You love the way they are eating.
Okay.
You love the way they carry the spoon beautifully. And some people eat, you think that no, I just eating roughly. Some people eat, you see the plate they ate in so messy. Some people eat, the place to be clean, the amount to be clean. That's what they call creativity. Thank you very much. Yes, so it goes across everything. You understand?
Okay, so I have another question. If life had taken another turn for you, and you're not an artist, you're not an educator, you're not a writer, what do you think you might have been? Like, what career do you think you would have gone for?
What would I have been?
Yeah.
Number one, art. The first art, second art, third art. Because I don't know where would I be fulfilled, honestly. If I'd been in another profession, each time I see the work of art, I'll be challenged. Why can't we do this? You're supposed to have done this. You understand? But if by venture or by providence, I was not opportune to be an artist, if I go into another profession, I'll still be doing art. You know, I might not be taught in school, but I'll still be craving for art. You understand? Because in most cases, we just sit down, we see something, you just start sketching. Let's sketching. You know, we are at a conference, when you know that it's not your turn to talk, and you don't want to get bored, the viral with you and the paper subject at the one corner, you start sketching. You know, if I had not been an artist by now,
okay,
I don't think there's any other profession whereby I'll be fulfilled. I might have been a medical doctor, might have been a lawyer, but that art is still being me. That you can still do it. You know, I've dropped those professions and I still have gone for art. So art is my life.
Oh.
And I even thought maybe you have asked me after I've retired now, that's what am I doing now? You know, I'm consulting. I consult for people, for schools, for organizations. And I still do my studio work. I draw and I paint. I still do my illustrations out there. Can you understand? So that's what I do now. I consult. And I still do some little drawings and paintings out there.
Okay, schools reach out to you.
Yes, for
their art.
Of course, what it is.
Cultural.
Exactly, definitely. Then also into tourism. I'm also into tourism. Understand? So those are the things I do now.
So that's really a lot. Thank you so much for the conversation so far. We really appreciate. Then, you know, in Nigeria, let me just make some ads a little, you know, let me say average Nigerian parents, they always want their child to study one professional, or they don't see art as something that, you know, that will make their child to be great or a big person. They always want someone to be in science, majorly, to study medicine, to study, but anyways, we are very, very excited. We are very, very happy that at least you feel fulfilled. Like, even if it's not art, it's still art. Yes. Even if you are in science, you'll still be missing things.
Really?
So that's an amazing one.
Thank you, brother.
So after decades in the industry, you still have the passion.
Definitely.
To draw, to write and everything. What do you think is what is pushing you, like, to still keep the thing? You know, when you are doing something over and over again, the people might get bored and be like, I'm tired. And now that you're even retired, you don't want to retire. You are still doing the work, even as you are retired. So what's pushing, what's keeping the spirit up, and you are doing more and you want to do more?
Thank you very much. You know, as an artist, especially we visual artists and singers, we have some things that inspires us. Some people might be alcohol, some people might be smoking, some people might be smoking marijuana and things like that. You know, it works for them. My own case, what inspires me most is nature. You understand? Nature inspires me a lot.
Okay.
Nature. You understand? By the time nature that surrounds me, my immediate environment, it inspires me a lot. When I think of things, you just come, you know, just see some vegetations, see some settings, wonder how God did this thing. So just give me an idea. You know, some ideas just come into my mind at times. It might be in terms of visual, it might be in terms of text. I just have to write it down. That's how on my bed I have a lot of jotters beside me. So as the word comes, I just write it down. I don't know what the words might mean, but I know that later I'm still coming back to that thing. It's going to give me, you know, more meaning to it. So it is nature that inspires me. Then number two, music. Good music. I like jazz music. Jazz music inspires me. Then number one, nature. Then number two, music, especially jazz music. And mostly reggae music, that of Bob Marley version, is inspires me.
So, okay, we appreciate once more. I think we'll be rounding it out at this point. It has been an impactful and amazing one. In fact, anybody that hears all these things you discussed today will even feel like maybe I should even go and try artists, so that even if you won't get bored, you just continue. You know, some people are working, but when they wake up to go to their work, they will feel tired. They will feel like there is no passion for this work. They are just doing it to earn the money. But anyway, it's another thing to be doing something and you are happy. That even when you are retired, you are still doing it. Not just for the money, but also for happiness. Like, this is what you derive joy in. So we appreciate you so much today for your time, or for, you know, bringing up a lot of things, for bearing your minds out, and, you know, giving us the best. You told us we were able to discuss a lot of things, which was so me. Appreciate you, isn't it, for joining our station.
Very much.
So, I don't know if you have any other thing to add before we wrap up the episode.
I just want to appreciate you. I really appreciate your consistency, because you kept on reminding me. And in a man of my words, and once I promised you, I knew I would come. These parts are lots. And I also, you know, appreciate the management of accessible publications for the base opportunity given me. I know that sky is not even the limit. We are going to go beyond sky. I started, we have been partners for years. And I pray that God in His infinite mercy will come. He always giving us the bonds so that we can always be bonded together. I also appreciate our viewers and our listeners that if your child or your ward decides to go into the world of arts, please do not discourage them. It was in those days that I say, I want my child to be a doctor. I'm not saying it's not good, but give them the chance to be an artist. And we should always, talk to our government. They are killing hearts in our schools.
Okay.
Understand? In many schools that they're supposed to be, having this fine art as a subject, you see they not have enough teachers, if you not even in their subject. So I want to implore the governments, both at national and state levels, they should encourage us to have fine arts in our various schools. Understand? Because if someone does not study fine arts at primary and secondary school level, how does he want to be at higher institution level? Let me shock you again. At higher institution, at the polytechnic or university, someone that did not study fine arts and really wanted to study another course at the university or colleges of education or polytechnic, if that course is not given to that child, did you know that they are now going to rush them into fine arts? We go and do fine arts. You understand? And it's not good. Someone that does not have the background in art. You understand? Because I had that experience when I was still working at cultural center. You see them coming for attachments. They told them that, oh God, I did not do similar arts in my secondary school. They just told me to go to fine art department. It's not good. You understand? So by the time they are having arts as their background from secondary school, if eventually they're not put into higher institution to study fine arts, it's going to be very easy for them. Although there's no bad arts, that's why a lot of artists cannot draw very well. And if you call yourself an artist, you cannot draw, you are not an artist. I'm talking about visual artists too.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about fine arts. Fine arts is different from applied arts. Understand? We are talking about fine art, you are talking about painting and drawing and sculpture.
Okay.
Applied art is graphics and textile and ceramics. So if you want to be a sculptor, I want to be a painter, you should be able to draw very, very well. That is the background of painting and sculpture. So what am I trying to say? As an artist, when I thank God that a lot of people are now, developing themselves because of this, what we call it, because of internet. You see some amazing arts on the net. So people are now being inspired. By the time they see that, okay, so someone can do this, people are now, trying to develop themselves. I will now have a lot of different art materials these days that, and I said, despite my years of experience, I've never seen them before. You understand? They are very, very expensive. So you want to be a good artist, you should be able to have a lot of money to buy material, and those materials are very, very expensive. So what am I trying to say? To be an artist is not easy. You need money for those expensive materials, and our government should try as much as possible to encourage fine arts in our primary and secondary schools, and they should not forget to patronize us and buy our books to their schools. Comprehensive and cultural arts published by accessible publishers, authored by Kolade Salami Ajani. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Oakley, once more for this amazing episode. We also thank our listeners for tuning in, for listening to this podcast, for hearing with me too. So, you see, one thing, you should let your child know what they want to do in life, not pushing a person to be this or that. Okay, so we'll be wrapping up today's episode. Yeah, we thank you so much. Then if you have any question that you want to ask us, if you have any contribution, you can contact us. We are online. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok as Accessible Publishers Limited. We're also on X as Accessible PL. And you can also check out our websites. You can buy this book from us, Cultural and Creative Arts. We have it on our website. You can buy the ebook. You can buy the hardcover. So our website is www.accessiblepublishers.com. So till next time, Keep reading the books, keep turning the pages, keep creating, and keep the imaginations alive. Bye.
Beyond the pages. Beyond the pages.